Jumper. Did you wave your hand for attention? Oh, no, okay, just saying hello to people. Get it. Bedankt.
Hello, Isaac.
Hi, bedankt.
Hi. This morning or the last days, something worked again inside me, and it was about my friend again, and old stories again just came up. But this morning, I really could see the tendency just to hold on. It doesn't matter actually what story goes on, you know, like, yeah. And just, okay, I just love to be a moment silent with this.
Just for fun. Observing is an activity, correct?
Yes.
And whatever that mechanism is, it's also an activity. It's changing all the time. So there's observing going on, and there's this activity going on.
Was it a quick
moment by
Yeah.
moment.
Yes.
And there's awareness
Mm.
of both activities. Beyond both activities. Those activities can come and go, and awareness remains.
Mm. Isaac, can I ask you something?
No,
Yeah, with this coming just now, what I could see was just a bunch of stress in the system, something like this, just this, and then just coming down. And there is a danger now that I turn into shame that I came with this, you know, and that
shame,
was
there's no problem with shame.
yes,
You know, there's
yes,
healthy shame and there's unhealthy shame.
yes.
And shame itself is just a course correction. It's fine. It's no problem.
It's fine now. Okay, so
yeah, shame.
yeah.
If a little shame comes, let it. If it gets, you can tell the difference between healthy shame and unhealthy shame.
Yes.
Yeah.
So because I'm aware that something repeats, you know, and something is repeating with this stress, and so I just wanted to point it.
Let it.
Yes.
You know, of course.
Yes.
You know, I mean, you know, that capacity of fine noticing is beautiful. And so it keeps like making these very subtle discernments. And one of the discernments, like make really fine tuning, really noticing very fine things. Yeah. And there's a way that the discerning can start to be in the employment of trying to improve ourselves or something like that.
Improve, yeah, okay.
Yeah, to make ourselves, to get somewhere.
Yes, yeah.
So discerning happens and it's beautiful and it's doing it's fine tuning, it's like that. And it, you know, it's so close to this because it's, you know, this love affair of truth is so fine. It's, you know, it is such a deep love affair of just cutting through the unconscious habits, you could say, that produce the sense of identifying. So, you know, it wants to be in service of that, you could say. It wants to keep and that awareness, which is ever present, is here. And it can notice shame, it can notice whatever pattern is playing, so to speak.
Yeah. You know, yeah, I understand. You know, it's like this, what other would do to make a career, something like this. There is this, and I'm really not happy with this, you know. I'm very grateful that it shows up actually in this moment, even when there is a lot of shame maybe coming up or whatever. But I feel also it's such a burden when
yes, of
there
course.
is an identity. Yes.
Yeah, of course. I think, you know, all of us know variations of it. I mean, it's
yeah. It's, you know, it's like in the financial world, it would be very welcome, and here it's the opposite. And I can see how it always in different nuances came up and again, and yeah, it's good to just to bring it out actually. Yes. It feels like right now, and yes.
So discerning is happening, and as we're resting in now, just for fun, what is that discerning in service of? Just as we're resting here, and that discerning is doing its job beautifully.
Okay, yeah. And what was your question? I don't understand.
So that capacity to discern, that's inherent in awareness.
The last thing,
it's part of awareness, that
yes,
that capacity to discern. It's inherent. It's part of it. It's natural to it. Okay, and it can be in service of self-improvement. It can be in service of meeting the moment as the beloved. It can be in service of like a musician playing, and it's in service of yeah, the music, I could say like that, you know. But it can be service in trying to do it right, or it can be in service of a lot of different things. So just the question is, what's it in service of at this moment when we're sitting here like this? Because now I would say, if I have to speak it, I would say it's in service of how sweetly we can meet.
Yes, or feinschmecking.
Yeah, feinschmecking, yeah.
Yes. Yes, I understand. The direction moves into a different way. Yeah.
And I can see that experientially, then it's so much more fun for you.
Yes.
It's beautiful. And
yeah, my God, the other is such a, I don't know, just a stress. And
it's a stress. That's it, and that's what I was. Yeah, so that's just it's making that distinction, which is beautiful.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing this. It's lovely.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. So just go back to gallery view for a second.
Yes.
I'm curious if anybody got any value out of that exploration. It's useful. Yeah, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, seems like. So thank you for bringing it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you. Oh my God.
How sweetly can we meet? Huh? Antje.
Hello, Isaac.
Hi, Antje.
We can sit together.
Yes. Yes.
I like to enjoy with you. Mm. Thank you.
Mm. Liska.
I like to sit with you and enjoying and
How lovely.
seeing what is happening.
just it's so interesting. Like if you wanted to learn to ride a bicycle, yeah,
Mhm.
and you heard that, okay, in order to ride a bicycle, you need to be fit. So you started to run every day.
Okay.
So that when you could finally ride the bicycle, you'd be fit.
Okay.
It's like this. It's like if you're interested in riding a bike, then you just ride the bike. If you're interested in meeting the moment as the beloved, then we just meet the moment as the beloved. We don't have to kind of
Go anywhere.
go anywhere. It's just moment by moment, just staying with that, just that interest,
Mm.
Wow, here we are. This is it. It's just how sweetly can this moment be received, and doesn't matter what's going on, doesn't matter the circumstance, doesn't matter what people are doing or saying or anything in the circumstance.
It's the only place where there is happiness.
Yeah, exactly. Just like that. Just recognizing that simple thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm. So grateful.
Lucky life to have this interest and to
Yes.
just to start seeing the simplicity of it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Thank you.
Thank you, Liska. Well, Titi.
Mm.
Angelia. Hi.
Hi, Isaac. I don't even dare to say I'm going to try to enjoy myself, because then there's so much pressure. So anyway, I just see what happens.
Yeah. Even this just being can be a pressure as much as enjoying the moment. It's like, what's the difference? Was it to enjoy? What does it take to enjoy the moment?
But for me, there is a difference. If I say I just be, it implies that I can really be how I am and see what happens, just be open. When I say I will enjoy myself, I have a little expectation somewhere in the back, pressuring towards that direction. But it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Just I like packaging it like that to be.
Okay. Yeah.
To sneak my way into joy.
Yeah. Yes, that's why, even enjoying, just meeting the moment as the beloved, it's like, this is it. This is it. This is as God as it gets. This is it. I mean, it's like, whatever words we want to use for that. This is it. This.
Well, it's just, I really want it to happen rather than me directing myself into this direction. I can't really, because as soon as then there is efforting or there's some sort of illusion that you can check it, you can do it. Whereas if I just stay really passive, I sort of lose my center, which is great. There's no driver on the car then anymore. The car is just running.
So when you're driving,
Sorry, I didn't hear now.
you stay on the road. You don't want to drive into a tree or another car. So moment by moment, we hear, right? There's an interest here. We come together with an interest. So you can call that interest being. You can call that interest kissing the moment. You can call that interest no effort. Doesn't matter. The words are just pointing at something, that's all. But there is that interest, yeah. If there was an interest in whatever,
Longing.
something else, then yeah.
A longing.
Yeah. So that longing, let that longing, what is that longing for?
It's the key to open up the heart completely, utterly.
Yeah. So that's meeting the moment as a beloved, I call that. You know, whatever makes sense to your mind. Like it's
Had this image with really being thirsty and drinking of this crystal water, and you don't seem to get, you like, you just want more and more and more and more. Your thirst doesn't really.
Then stay at the source and just keep drinking. Find the source of that water and just get drunk on
It goes on forever and ever.
it. Yeah.
Thank you so much
Thank you.
for being in our planet.
Thank you. Hi. And yeah.
Hello, Isaac.
Hi, Anya.
Yeah. Just these last 10 minutes I've been going through. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I hear you perfect.
I'm still pretty weak from this Corona story, but much better, of course. And on Thursday, I'm driving to visit my mum, and I will see my brother and perhaps my dad, who's in hospital at the moment. And I just suddenly now had the impulse to bring this here with you for a moment. That there's always, by the thought of that I will see my family, and that I'm not at the same time not totally strong, because generally it takes me a lot of strength to spend 3-4 days in this whole emotional field.
So that's been the pattern, eh?
Yeah, I generally need a lot of strength to remain quiet and not too involved, and to keep my feelings at a level.
No, look, I can understand that. But now that's it's different than that now, because you know, there's a vulnerability, there's a nakedness,
Totally.
gift, yeah. And
totally
so
naked.
now, yeah, just in a way experimenting with just showing up like that without needing to maintain anything, without needing to not, you know, just there, naked and vulnerable, just like that. And at the same time, you know, like if you need to take space to go to your room or to go to your own space or whatever, just to chill. So being within your circumstance, the circumstance of your body, all of that stuff, but just taking it as an opportunity because it's happening.
Yeah.
If you go there with the mindset, look, you know, I'm not strong enough to handle it, you're already coming there, you know. Yeah.
And it's like, actually, it feels like right now when I'm vulnerable, and that sweetness shows me that is the wish of everybody in my family. Everybody wants to actually,
absolutely.
and then we put all these layers and the strength. And
So that's what I'm saying. That being strong has been the family pattern, and
totally
you don't need
pattern.
to do that.
And the
you
pain
don't need
is,
to do that.
yeah, the pain is
you
that
can see,
everybody
and
yearns for this true meeting. Generally, at some point, my mother breaks out in tears. That's always at some point, because she loves us so much, and she's happy to see us, and the meetings are difficult. And what right now, what came up, actually, what I'm also like afraid of is that the patterns will take over in such a way that I can't be vulnerable. It's like what normally happens, yeah.
the patterns are not powerful enough. Your nature is vulnerability. You don't have to be vulnerable. That's your nature already.
Yeah.
That vulnerability, look, when it's uncomfortable, you know, if it's uncomfortable, just noticing, there's discomfort here, and not putting it outside yourself, not putting it on anybody else, or not putting it on yourself. There's just some discomfort here. Okay. Meeting it sweetly, gently. Don't have to appear to have it together. Don't have to teach anybody. You're just there. Okay, cool. Just noticing, okay, there's a family pattern of discomfort that's been playing forever. You know, it's like whatever the nuances of that discomfort are, you know, like the habits of that discomfort, and you're just there. not trying to even, not even trying to be comfortable, but just kind of soft in the discomfort. It's okay. So you don't, it's like you don't have to be enlightened. You don't have to anything. Just in a way, if you can, just let it show you. It'll show you everything, if it's possible. I mean, it's a, you go there with that sense of it. You need to keep it together or something like that. Then you need to be strong.
Yeah.
You go there, okay, like this is now happening. The system is vulnerable and naked. Oh, beautiful. And now this life is calling you to that circumstance again. Now, I've admitted many times you've been there. It's always been within its usual pattern. And now you're going, and it's just vulnerable, naked like this.
Yeah.
And just seeing behind all the patterns, it's just life, it's love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Looking through awkwardness, looking through confusion, whatever.
Yeah, I think the strongest thing, I can feel it, the strongest thing is that my mother generally, she's very concerned that we should all be always happy. And as soon as she notices, I was ill, I'm a little bit weak, or it's something could be getting too much for me, she always comes really close to me and goes into my field to protect me and to look after me and to watch that there's no unhappiness, no weakness, nothing happening to me. It's a strong thing. And so it's very difficult for me that...
Just take a moment. So that's a pattern in your mom.
Yeah. And I can see my...
And okay, so that pattern comes, and you could say that pattern is trying to be loving. It's confused, but it's trying to be loving. Yeah, doesn't mean any harm. It's doing the best it knows how.
Yeah.
In an awkward way, in a kind of, and just underneath that is just this love looking through its patterns. That's all. And so it's not personal to your mom. It's just, I could say, if it was up to her, it wouldn't be there, because she can see, she senses that it troubles you and all that, and she just doesn't know. She hasn't another way.
Yeah. And I get a little bit afraid, because I can already now feel that what my field is doing then, it's like my field is doing something to tell her that she doesn't need to protect me, is at the same time I'm protecting. It's all this protection that makes it like a cage. My heart gets back into this cage of, I don't want her to protect me, I can protect myself, and then it goes like, I'm in the cage, So
I've told the story before, and maybe it's useful for you. Whenever my parents used to love to, I left South Africa young and I was traveling, and they would, like to come and see me. I went from studying medicine to be a doctor to being a dropout hippie. And it was a very difficult transition for my parents, and they were worried about my future, and like, what's going to happen to this poor guy? He's going to end up in the gutter somewhere. So whenever they came to me, they would always be on my case. When are you going to get married? When are you going to get a proper job? When are you going to get an education? And it, like my system responded by getting completely pissed off. It's like, wow, they come all this way and they come with all that stuff and start putting it on my head. But then at one moment, I had this recognition that actually that was their way of saying that they loved me. And somehow in that recognition, I said to them, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I just, somehow the way I was seeing it was that it was uncomfortable for me, and it was disturbing to me, and I didn't like it, and I wanted you to stop. But once I recognized I just needed to get my ears to understand what you were trying to tell me was that there's love. And I said, so once I see that, you can continue with that funny pattern. It's no problem to me. Just ask me as many times as you want, when am I going to get married and when I'm going to, all that stuff. And I said to them, but if you'd like, you can have a look and see if it's actually that much fun for you to do that. But feel free to continue with it because it's okay. I get it now. Thank you for being, staying with it until something in me could see that, because, like every time they came, I would just get so upset with them, get into a fight with them. But it was just a confusion happening in me, wanting them to be different, wanting them to be in tune with me, whatever it was, it was like, and something in me wasn't just seeing that it was just love coming across in a confused way. So that's all. Your mom's wanting to say, look, this is how she shows. That's probably how her parents showed love, and probably how her parents' showed love. It's funny pattern. It's just confusion. It's no bad intention.
Yeah, no,
so if you can see when if she comes to you like that, you just go, oh, Mom, I get it. You love me. It's beautiful. Please, you continue. If there's any resistance in my system, it's a pattern resisting another pattern. That's all it is. There's nothing to do with you. There's nothing to do with her.
Yeah. It does help to hear that. I was watching myself while you were speaking, and I could see that all that you said was also what I am doing when I love, It's like, it's not only my mother, it's like, I could see how then I actually want to protect her from my vulnerability and tears or something,
So it's a pattern with a pattern. It's not even you, it's just a pattern. Yeah. It's just a pattern.
And this holding, like there's so much holding in this family that it's like, I know that my only wish is to just, I can't hold anymore. It's like I've been holding all my life and this is just over.
Cool.
So over. It's like,
how perfect that life arranged it, that you're now weak and vulnerable and naked and you're going into this. I mean, who could script such a drama? It's fantastic.
It's even like, I also have a lot of joy in that. I mean, it's like, it's almost like, I mean, I feel this gift of this corona illness was such a gift to me, because I had such transformation somehow all the time. Permanently something was kind of falling away. It was just falling away. And then it was like, oh my God, and now this, I mean, how am I going to travel to this place with my dad, like in a really worse, sort of very much pain in hospital. And it's like, okay, what is my real wish? And then I thought, my wish is to not hold. Just not to hold any little whatever comes. I'm just.
Let's just see.
I'm not carrying it for anyone, not for me, not for no one.
Yeah. So the wish is to meet the moment as the beloved. Forget about the holding, because otherwise the attention's on holding. Like if you want to learn to play the piano, play the piano. Stop beating on the drum.
That was the help with the bike. It would really. I just really
just stay with
the bike thing.
just like, okay, whatever pattern's playing, okay, I know what I'm interested in. Receiving this as the beloved. There's no bad intention. There's no, it's just patterns. And the patterns, I mean, they're not personal. There's nobody doing them. Usually they're automatic and unconscious, which literally means nobody's doing them. The area where we think that somebody's doing them, and that maybe we can, through being upset, get them to be different. It's never worked in the history of humanity ever. Never.
Yeah.
That's what I know.
And I'm so not interested in carrying on like that. I'm so not interested.
Beautiful.
It's like,
Yes, so yes, you know, if it's possible, just any time you notice that a pattern is playing that
just,
is stressful or effortful or okay. So just it's okay. It's played as many times and just be gentle with it. It's okay.
mm. Yeah, that gets so quiet actually. You know? It's like this activation comes from that little moment when it seems to not be okay. So to have patterns.
Well, I mean that you know, it's like the design of this dimension in a way. You know, it's like all we have is the sensations of now, and something in us unconsciously tightens up or thinks it should be different or wants it to be different. That's the only human drama ever.
Yeah. And otherwise, it's just like so much peace.
Yeah,
Quiet.
that's it. And so if that happens, if an automatic unconscious tightening happens, you know, and a lot of times it'll touch a trauma vortex, it'll touch a feeling of it's existential, it's life-threatening, you know, like it's just a sensation, and there's an automatic unconscious resistance. Nobody's doing it.
Yeah, exactly. I can feel it even now. I can feel it in my body, that there's also a trauma touch as soon as I think of the whole scenario. And it's in the meanwhile, I'm kind of quite familiar with this touch, with this trauma touch. I can feel this touch, and then there's something that puts my attention to where it touches, and then there's like a holding it, like sort of very motherly. I don't know, something good. Yeah, something good happens then. So even in the fear is always also much in this touch of the belly somewhere. And then generally I can sort of say, oh, there's this touch, and then it's welcome. So that really also changed in the last months. Getting this capacity of just feeling slight touch.
So
and saying it's okay.
It's so okay if there's a touch, you know, because it's just it just means it's an opportunity. It's not wrong, it's not bad. It's an opportunity for what your deepest interest is, which is to meet the moment of the beloved. Any touch is just showing you where there's some automatic, unconscious movement.
And it brings me right to where it touches. It brings me to that moment. So that's actually there's the kiss, sort of. That's
the kiss.
I never really saw that years ago. I can see how it's not like I'm holding it so that it goes away. No, I'm holding it because that's what is here, and that's what's kissing me actually. And so that's really, I'm very grateful to be settled in something like that now. It's really available. Amazing. And it's kind of, it's so open right now. I mean, it's more open than ever before. And
as far as I know, astrologically too, it's like a time for old patterns to come to peace. I mean, it's always that time, but some astrologically, apparently, it's a highly potent time at the moment.
It's like, it's as if something is kind of stirring, so everything comes up, and at the same time, it doesn't only come up, but it's also not so important anymore. That's why there's this capacity.
That's
because that's at the same time. You know, like I guess that some time ago, if you think about time, it's not so existent, but it was really like probably too much if so much stuff is stirred up. And then because you were still thinking you have to work it out. But now there's like that drops away. I mean, I think maybe it's probably it is something like general. I can't generally speak for myself, but I can have the feeling that collectively importance somehow falls away as well. Yeah. So it's just free somehow. Something's more free.
Yeah, that thing, you know, that aspect in us that makes something important, eh?
Yeah. I mean, if that, and it's an aspect of us. And then when you see that there's nothing actually in this us, there's no us, there's nothing behind it. It's just something playing somehow, but perhaps that's us, but there's nothing behind it. And I mean, that's the moment when where would we put this importance? I mean, who would hold it on? I mean, it's just like importance, and it's like, okay, where would I fix it? Where would I stick it?
It's just a funny old habit. It's just a funny old habit. Eh?
Yeah, it's very simple. It's so simple, actually. Yeah. To me, that's really a miracle. It is a miracle, yeah. This nothingness definitely is a miracle. Thank you very much, Isaac. I'm glad that I decided to not just go through this alone at this moment.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
And again, let's just go to gallery view and just look at if anybody got any value from that exploration. Just, but thanks for bringing it.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. It's beautiful to see everybody regularly. That's really nice.
So, Bas, thank you so much for hosting. Thank you all. Love, peace, beauty. Sorry.